So today we're coming back to work on integrating images for the tokens that are going to be associated with our fund distributing contracts. So the last video, we had gone over the process of uploading metadata for images to be linked to different tokens. And originally, while we were looking at the process of having various images being able to represent different tokens on the same smart contract, the artwork, again, is not the main focus of these contracts. In fact, that is arguably the biggest turning point about these contracts. Most NFTs focused on the artwork, focused on the imaging, focused on the community. We really don't care about those things, in all honesty. We are focusing on getting people paid. And so these tokens are specifically designed simply just to send out cash to people who own them. Now, given with the contract, we've made it so that it is a contract that can be scaled as business operations expand, more tokens can be administered to be able to be minted on the chain. And so this can get a little bit fuzzy. At least the way I'm thinking about it is like if an NFT project originally has 8 tokens, 8 tokens are minted, there's 8 different images, and then somebody wants to go ahead and let's say they want to release 20 more tokens. If they created new images for each of those 20 tokens, I'm sure there's a way that you can integrate it so that the contract, allows each token that's new to be connected to a certain number and all this rah rah. But like my thing is simplicity. Simplicity makes things just very easy for people to understand and deal with. And so, frankly, if somebody really wanted to have a bunch of different images and artwork and all this kind of stuff, there's already contracts for that. That's not what we built. So I was contemplating whether or not, like, why don't we just say fuck it and not have images? But then when it comes to having different contracts and different tokens, you want a project to be able to at least be identified. Like if you have, tokens from different contracts, it's the same type of contract, but one's released by a truck business owner, another one's released by a coffee business owner, another one's released by construction developers. You want a way to be able to tell which token goes with which project. So I'm thinking we are going to just go back through and given we already understand how to make the metadata, the only difference is now instead of having, multiple metadata files, we're just going to have one metadata file. And so I'll be taking you guys along with me as far as just having ChatGPT adjust towards our goals. And then we will move from there. We'll see how far we get. So I had this realization about the direction I wanted to go as I was typing out the prompt to integrate, the code for the smart contract, making the adjustments, taking the next step. And so you guys can, pause and read if you want to see it here, but I just given it the contract and let it know I was ready. But, the contract it gave me here again, like I'm not super savvy when it comes to understanding how Solidity works and all this type of stuff. And so I would rather keep the contract as simple as possible. Again, artwork is not the main, objective when it comes to using these contracts. And so it's definitely not crazy complicated, but I'm just thinking ahead as far as, when it comes to having additional tokens put onto the chain, how each image gets matched to a token and, just the whole process, which actually no, I'm not going to read through that right now. But essentially, we're just going to go back and instead of going this direction, we're going to edit our prompt a little bit. Cool. All right, let's go through this. Okay, I'm thinking I may want to shift direction so that we're using one image for each and every token connected to a given smart contract. The smart contract I've built is designed with the functionality for the owner to send ETH to those who own, to send to those with an NFT in their wallet. Artwork and images is not the main objective. The functionality is the most important aspect of the smart contract, and the image would only serve to make identifying to identify and the image would only serve to identify which project a given token is associated with when an owner looks in their wallet. Given my contract allows the contract owner to increase the supply available for mint, I think this approach would be useful. Okay, I'm good with this. All right, what do we got? What do we got? ChatGPT being a little slow. All right. So, like I mentioned, this should be a fairly similar process as far as what we've already gone through. Like it mentions, we're going to link the image to Pinata, get the image's CID, make sure it works on the IPFS URL, create the metadata folder. And yeah, it's pretty much like I said, it's the same process that we had originally tested out with, what we're building. So honestly, I actually made an image on my iPad just to kind of mock the fact that like people were like, oh, like you can own artwork, da, 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 da. Like, bro, I don't give a fuck about owning some artwork from some nobody sitting in their mama's basement. Okay, artwork is not important. So to make a mockery out of them, I'm going to use this image right here as our NFT. So I might do this like honestly if I'm able to, link up with my boy and we're able to use one of his properties, for testing the concept with an actual asset. This would be the image that we use for the house. Like, wouldn't that be funny? So, okay, let's go ahead and do what it has prompted us to do. So we're gonna just go ahead and save this as ugly house, and then that is gonna go in RWA. And then let's go back over to Pinata. All right. So we're going to go ahead and upload. My computer sounded like an airplane right now. This shit is so funny, bro. Okay. The only thing that I wish is that I made like the borders a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. But honestly, I'm not even all that worried about it. So let's go ahead and we'll go back over to here. Man, I don't know how I feel because I mean, I don't know. I had all this set up for doing multiple photos. So I'm wondering, do I create a completely new folder? Do I just delete all the stuff here? Do I just add my thing in? Let's see what we've got here. We're just creating a single metadata folder anyways. So you know what? I don't think we need to necessarily, I don't think we need to necessarily delete everything. We can just make a JSON title ugly house and boom. So we've got that saved. And let's just go ahead and name the project ugly house. Because ugly house big checks, I think it's a phrase, right? That's a phrase in real estate. So now we will go ahead and upload our file. Oh, wait, hold up. We got to make sure that this reflects properly over to here. Save this. Let's just go ahead and test it real quick. Give her a quick test. There we go. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to pick file upload. Let's just see if we can find this. It wasn't all that hard, I guess. Okay, finally. So now we've got the metadata. Let's just double check to make sure we've got everything operating smooth here. And boom. So we're good to go. Look at that. The process that took us like an hour the first day, maybe not an hour, like 30, 45 minutes, took us like 5 minutes this time. So this is, again, it's why you need to practice things that you do, especially if you're building systems. But now we can go ahead to the next part. So it says modify your contract to use this single metadata URL. Okay. So I'm pretty sure now we can add the code. Yes, we can. No reference to Obama here. I know ChatGPT helped us build it, but I'm just going with the gut as far as what to say. So I could use your assistance on updating the smart contract. Here it is, the code. Okay. To incorporate a single image for all tokens associated with your smart contract, we will add functionality. What is it talking about? Add functionality. I guess it's just talking about the code in general. Still going. Okay. So I love the fact that it just gives us this little update. Okay, so the key updates added metadata URI, the single file, custom token URI, overrides the token URI. So I guess this is a function that exists within a 721 contract that is supposed to be there for allowing tokens to display different images, but given we don't really care about that, I'm guessing that is what the code is for when it comes to the override function that we'd seen earlier. So this is cool too. Like I said, we can update the metadata. And as far as deployment notes, so set metadata URI during deployment, ensure the metadata file uploaded to IPFS contains the correct image and descriptive fields. Okay, cool. Cool. So all right, so we should have everything now. Let's double check and give this code a run. And the metadata URI. All right, I don't know why I got little butterflies in my stomach, but let's just go ahead and make sure we're good. Cool. So looks like we did deploy the contracts. I'm just trying to see, like, I didn't get a notification like I normally do after deploying it, which is weird. Normally something pops up over here in the corner. Let me just double check that to make sure that this did it properly. Okay, yeah. Looks good. So I don't know why there's two. Why is there two? Like, am I tweaking? Why is there two? That is so fucking weird. It's within the same second as well. So maybe since it's like a test net, I don't fucking know. All that matters is that we do have a contract deployed. I don't know. It's just weird that there's two transactions because it's the same contract or no. Fuck. These are two different contracts. These are definitely two different contracts. Okay. All right. Well, let's just go ahead. Honestly, because that's again, this is why the perfectionist in you needs to be able to just move forward because we don't want to just get hung up on one step or one part of the process. I'm just mad confused as far as like why there's two contracts. Like, can somebody explain it? All right. Well, none of the matter. We do have the newest contract, and since this is a test run, let's just make sure that this is running smooth when we connect this to our front end. So, okay, so we're gonna make some quick edits. First, we're gonna go ahead and pull the API. So we would need to obviously test this contract to make sure that it works properly, but we're gonna just go ahead and get our front end situated so we can use this for testing. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll grab the address for the contract, paste this into here, and we should be good. So this should be ready. Let's go ahead and navigate over here to give it a shot. This is ridiculous how fucking slow this is running. Okay, finally. So we were able to connect the wallet, and let me just double check to make sure this is the wallet that we want to use for minting. Yep. So let's go ahead and attempt to mint. Looking good. I mean, obviously, like the contract shouldn't have been edited, but you never know in these testing phases, right? You never fucking know. So, if this worked properly, I should be getting a notification, but I don't know why my notifications aren't showing up. I never turned off notifications. It says it's confirmed though, so I got the notification here. I was waiting for the bubble to show up. Okay, so we do have an image. So you guys can see here, we successfully did link an image for the tokens. So this is good. And honestly, like I'm thinking if people have a project and they want to do giveaways for certain tokens or, have certain stuff be, obviously like we can add complexity as things go. But if somebody wanted to do a giveaway, you could say, hey, owner of token ID 8, you won XYZ. So there's different ways to do this. But again, we're just trying to get something functioning, something test ready. And, once we have our prototype, we can then go on to actually looking to find an asset to connect it to. So this is good. We've got the process down now for adding the images, and now we can just focus on screw some things up. Honestly, like we don't need to screw things up like crazy. We need to figure out how to get this linked onto a live site and allow people on the net to be able to interact with our contracts. So there you have it. We've now uploaded an image successfully to be connected to our tokens for the contract. This was the last like quote unquote big piece for us to add as far as just having a template down for utilizing a product that we can go to then market on social media, on email, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm happy. I put this off for a while and I think I tend to do I tend to procrastinate if I feel like, oh, I don't feel like dealing with errors and issues. So let me just hold off. But it's like whether you deal with them today or you deal with them tomorrow, you're gonna have to deal with them eventually. So finally got that done, which is a good step in the process, and we'll be working on the next video. Till then.